Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast. Today we have a special player spotlight all the way from Father Tolton High School, which he's going to have to tell me where that actually is and what city because I'm not quite sure, is joining us Lucas Wietholder. Luke, how you doing, buddy?
Yep. I'm good. How are you?
Good. So where is it?
Columbia, Missouri. Right where Mizzou is. So.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I knew you guys were in that area, but I didn't know you were in Columbia. So very good.
Yeah, we're probably about 8 minutes from Mizzou's campus. So
8 minutes. You ever played on that field?
Yeah. I have multiple times.
Multiple times. Is it nice?
Yeah, it is nice.
Is that a different
It's nice to go play at a SEC field, like in town and everything. It's a different type of experience. Really, it's interesting. It's fun.
Do you think it's easier to play in a setting like that than a high school field?
That's hard. I feel like it's probably harder because I feel like it's like you're thinking a little bit more about like what environment you're in. And high school ball, it's just like you're just going out, you're having fun playing with your friends and stuff. So it's a little bit more calm, I guess, to me.
Okay. Very good. Well, we met, gosh, I think it was right after your freshman year at the prep baseball showcase in Columbia. It was the fall one there. Yeah. And first time, you had a really good freshman year and met you there, chatted a minute, and I've been following you ever since. And I'm glad you took the time, come on and chat with us here.
Sure.
Senior year, it just seems weird, right?
Oh yeah, it's surreal. It feels like it's gone by like in a blink of an eye. It's crazy. It's went by super fast.
So let's take a walk back through this journey. I always love to do this, especially with seniors, because as you said, all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, where'd all the time go? But you started playing baseball when?
Probably whenever I could walk, honestly. Whenever I could hold the bat. I was always with a ball bat in the yard, in the house, got yelled at, no balls in the house all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I myself am a victim of that and broke a window doing that. Yeah, so that's why mom said no, right?
Yeah. I never broke a window, but I had some moments where I was hitting the walls and stuff, breaking stuff.
Yeah, it's not usually a good thing. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about, your first kind of experiences, elementary, T-ball, all the way up through that. Was your dad your coach?
Yeah. When I was for T-ball and for coach pitch, my dad did coach and he was like pretty involved with the team. There was two coaches and him and one of his friends, which had a son that was my age. They coached us until we got to kid pitch. And then when we got to kid pitch, my dad kind of weaned off the coaching and didn't really do it as much because he wanted me to kind of learn from other people and get knowledge outside of just him. And he didn't want to be that figure on and off the field. So
I understand. So when you were playing, kid pitch 9 through 14, did you play with a club or was it an independent team?
Yeah. So I started off playing kid pitch when I was in Tennessee. I lived in Tennessee, and then we moved here after 2 years of that. So I played on two different teams. I played on the Clarksville Mudcats for kid pitch down in Tennessee, and then which I'm still good buddies with a lot of them. And then I switched to play when we moved to Missouri. I played for the Columbia Warriors that Danny Hill runs, and then it kind of switched in like 16U, 17U, or I think 16U is when it switched from the Warriors to the U.S. Nationals.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about Tennessee. You got family still over there and whatnot?
I do not.
Okay.
No, we were there because my dad was in the Army, so he was stationed in Clarksville, so that's where we had to be. And My family actually lives in Illinois, most of it. My parents' parents. So
Mhm. Do you ever get a chance? You said you're still good friends with a lot of those kids in
hmm
Tennessee. Do you ever get a chance to see them when you're out playing? Do you run across them?
I haven't ever run across and played them, but I normally go back at least once a year to Tennessee to meet up with them, and normally we hit and stuff. So yeah,
That's cool, man. That's cool. So,
yeah.
you got any juggernauts on that side of state? Any of those guys doing big things?
Oh yeah. Um, Corbin Reynolds, he's committed to Vanderbilt. He's a senior, and Connor Lehman, he's at Alabama right now, and he's a freshman pitcher. So
It's
those
impressive.
are the two that are two other ones that are D1 from our team.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How much of an influence have your parents been on you, and what was the influence like when you were growing up? Did was it mom and dad usually are catalyst to whatever you want to do? Did they really say, "Hey, we want you to play," or was it your choice? How did all those dynamics work for you guys in that house?
Really, it was just like my parents wanted me to be active and do sports, but they never pushed any sport on me. They kind of just let me feel through all the sports I played, like flag football, soccer, basketball, baseball, like all I played all the sports. And then kind of as I grew up, I kind of weaned off a lot of them. Like basketball, I stopped playing in like sixth grade. Soccer, I stopped playing in like third grade. Basketball, like seventh, eighth grade, and then baseball just kind of stuck. And that was like since I was a little kid, that's always been my favorite sport to play and everything. So they kind of just let me go about it and choose whichever sport fit me best and which one I had more fun doing.
That's cool. So as you're, elementary, middle school, who were some of the coaches that helped you continue to develop when you were just a little guy?
Yeah. So the guy that I was just telling you about, my dad's friend that had a kid, his name was Lance Elkins. He was definitely the main one that stuck with me from then because he's someone I still am in contact with, and we always go eat dinner with him when we're in Tennessee. Like we're all still pretty close, and he's definitely had a huge impact on everything with just trying to stay motivated to play sports, even in the tough times, and just making sure that I'm always getting my work in and not skipping out and no days off.
You come up, elementary, middle school baseball. It should be fun. It's a lot of fun. What are some of the memories you have from that time with your friends growing up playing ball just like that?
Definitely, definitely the main memory I have is when we went down to Gulf Shores, Alabama. We took a trip there every year from when we started travel ball, and that was always really fun because we always would take like 2 beach days and we were like 9 or 10, so it was like the funnest thing ever. And we would go out on the beach, play in the sand, we would go karting, we'd play baseball, of course, and one time we actually got second place in that tournament. It was like a tournament with 60 or 70 teams, and so that was pretty memorable for sure.
Ah, yeah, second place, that kind of turn. Yeah, heck yeah. Did was which was funner, playing the baseball or going to the beach and hanging out and doing all that?
Ah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, we definitely bonded more outside of off the field. Because it was just a good bonding experience. Really, it brought us all a lot closer together. But playing that in that tournament was definitely like one of the best tournaments I've probably ever played in because we played like we were in the losers bracket to start off the day, and we'd win like 5 straight games to make it to the championship, and because it was like double elimination, and so we played like 5 games in the like 100-degree heat. So that's definitely very memorable and stuck with me.
So it's probably funner swimming in the ocean than 100-degree
Yeah,
heat. Huh?
probably, especially when I was that age. Yeah,
Absolutely. 14U, it's when I think really, 13 going into football, 14U, that's when everything kind of changes. Is that what happened with you? Was that where it really became serious and your thought process was, I'm going for this?
yeah. I feel like it was probably like eighth grade, like so probably like 14, yeah, like 14, 15 year area. that's definitely when it started to turn from like I'm just playing the sport for fun and everything, and because I'm good at it, or and then it turned to like I'm like striving for this, like I know I can do this, and like I can see the light at like the end of the tunnel, I guess, in a sense.
Absolutely. So at 14U, who were you playing? What team were you playing with? The Columbia Warriors?
That was the war. Yeah, that was the Warriors with Danny. Yeah,
So what was that experience like, and how do you think that prepared you for high school?
that experience was fun for sure. I because I didn't know a lot of people when we moved here, so that's kind of how I made a lot of my friends was when we joined that team. So that was fun to get to grow up with them and basically play with all the same kids from when I moved here to still to this day. And like the the motivation part was definitely there with Danny. He saw me right when I got there, and he like I stuck out to him, and he was like, you need to get to work, and you need to be in the facility every day, and like you need to like you really got something there, and you need to train." Because at that point, I wasn't really training every day. It was just something I did, and then he kind of pushed me and put me on the right track.
So Danny's been a big influence on you as you've
Yeah.
continued to grow as an athlete. Yes.
Yep.
Very good. So you're into high school, you're coming out for that, you go into high school, you were at Father Tolton Catholic.
Mhm.
Um, what has that experience been? And when you entered that, did you think you would be a varsity player when you walked in as a freshman?
Right when I walked in as a freshman, I definitely didn't think I was going to be, but soon after, like after the fall, like going into the winter when we started to have workouts as a team and stuff, like I kind of noticed I was like kind of standing above some of my other peers. Like I was, I was able to do things that they weren't able to do, and the coach was always talking to me, and his name was Coach Chick, and he really talked to me a lot, and he pushed me a lot as well, and so from after winter break, I basically knew that I was probably going to be on varsity. But once I made it on varsity, I didn't really think I was going to be like a starter. But right when that first lineup came out, I was surprised to see that I was in the lineup for sure.
Where did you play? Were you always a shortstop?
Yeah, I had started off at shortstop. That freshman year, I played shortstop and third because we had another pretty good guy. He was a senior that year, Logan Thompson,
Hmm.
and so he played short a lot, and then I'd play third when he would play short. But soon after, he kind of moved to outfield. He moved to center field because my glove was a little bit better. So I kind of stuck there, and coach moved everyone around so that we would have our best lineup out there.
You guys have had some success over there at Tolton,
Yeah.
making some runs. What has that
Mhm.
experience? Getting a taste of success like that as a group? How do you keep everything in perspective?
Yeah. So freshman year, it was definitely special. Like that state championship run and winning it was very special because I didn't think that obviously like a little freshman playing with all the upperclassmen guys that you kind of look up to, and like it was just very surreal, like getting to play in that and make it all the way there because I didn't really believe that in my head. Like I was like, oh, like I didn't think that it could go this far and that we could do this, especially in the first year. And the bonds were very special that year with all the seniors kind of just like took me in, and like they brought me up and they taught me a lot. They about baseball and about outside of baseball, especially like JC Putnam. He was definitely the biggest influence on me. He was the guy that took me to practice. He was the guy that took me home. He had a lot of long talks with me about my future and what I need to watch out for and everything. So
That's good. Love that.
yeah.
You guys have had some pretty special moments, and one I want to ask you about this. It was just last year. You
Hmm.
guys are in the district tournament. It was the
Yeah.
district championship, I
It was,
believe, against
yep.
Southern
Yep.
Boone, right?
Yep. It was. Hmm.
You guys pulled that one out in 10 innings, right? It was 10?
Yep. 10.
Yes.
10. That was a
Uh,
very
t-
stressful 10.
Talk to us about that experience. That's kind of a once in a lifetime game, really, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It was very once in a lifetime. I've never experienced a game like that ever, especially because there was a rain delay. So it was like a 5 hour long game, and it was very special getting to play because they're our rivals too. Like every year we play them, and every year it's always a close game, and a lot of us know a lot of guys on that team, so it's always a rivalry, and just it was super special getting to play in that game. And there was a lot of people there, like the whole town of Ashland, a lot of Columbia people were there. Like it was crazy, and it was very fun. It was definitely exciting.
It was at Southern Boone too, wasn't
Yeah.
it? They were hosting. Yeah, because we had been at Southern Boone earlier in the season, and we live
Hmm.
streamed your game
Yeah,
against them, which I think you guys lost, if I remember correctly,
we
in the
did. I think
regular
we lost
season.
by 2 or 3. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that was a really good game. So I was very interested. I was following it on Game Changer. I was watching,
Hmm.
and then the delay hit, and I was like, "Oh man, it's just getting crazy." Why I followed that game all the way through, and that was something else. Talk to us about this season going into your senior year. Um,
Hmm.
who have been? You guys have a new head coach,
Yeah.
Trey Morris. Who have
Hmm.
been some of the guys in your first 3 years that have influenced you at the high school level and helped you continue to grow as an athlete, as a student, things of that nature?
Like at Tolton,
Yes, sir. Yes,
or
sir.
yeah, Coach Schick had a pretty good impact on me. He kind of taught me more about life. I feel like he had a lot of good
Mhm.
insights about life and dealing with things. And Trey, since he's been there, has helped tremendously with getting me involved and better for and ready for college. He's since he played SEC ball at Mizzou, it's he's me and him kind of have that relationship where he's like he's always on me. He's always making sure I'm doing the right thing. He's always nitpicky about my swing, and I really enjoy it because it's helping me a lot, and I've definitely gotten a lot better from him. Just in the last 3 4 months of him helping me, it's helped tremendously.
It's just challenging you, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. How have you, and well, let's put it this way. You guys are getting ready to play some high school baseball. How are you taking some of these younger guys? You know, you went through that as a freshman, guys that took,
Hmm.
you and who else, who's taking that leadership role on the team this year?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely two specific leaders on the team, and it's definitely myself and Matthew States. He's he's put in a lot of work and to lead the team, and we both take freshmen to practice. We both are asking freshmen if they need rides. We're trying to help them as much as we can with what we can help with and what we can control. But yeah, those us two are definitely the main leaders of the team this year.
Very good. So, what are some goals? Talk to us. I'm sure you got some personal goals. What are the team
Hmm.
goals? How are you guys facing the season?
Yeah, I mean, team goal was we really only have one. Our main team goal is to go back to Springfield and win a state championship for sure. That's the main goal. But other side goals are probably like just beating one our in town rivals in Southern Boone, and also beating Hickman because our coach is going to Hickman, so it's going to be a little bit of a rivalry when we play them too. And a lot of their guys are kind of tight with us too, and we have a little bit of a confidence and a competitiveness with us, so it'll be a good game when we play versus them.
So, it's now the U.S. Nationals there
Yeah.
in Columbia. Talk to us a little bit about the experience of the differences that you noticed between summer baseball and high school baseball.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. It's definitely more like in the vibe of both of them. I feel like the vibe of summer ball, we're in the hotels with our friends, we're hanging out, and then it kind of clicks, and it's like super serious. Right when you get to the field, you're locked in. You're trying to strive for greatness, and everyone's trying to go for the same goal, obviously, of playing in college, and that's the main goal when we're out there. And then it's a little bit different for school ball. I feel like it's a little bit more relaxed when we're out there for the games. We're all just trying to play for ourselves, and we're all just and for each other as well, and we're all just trying to win the game and get a state championship ring, and that's really the main thing, the main differences for that.
You got some freshmen this year. Sophomores think they're going to help you out this year with that goal.
Um, The main freshman, there's one main freshman that's going to probably have a little bit of an impact on varsity for sure. It's Lincoln Veers. He's up to 85 on the mound, so he'll probably have a pretty good impact on our team. And sophomores, not so much. Our team's pretty old this year. We got, I think, like 6 starters are seniors, and then the other 3 are juniors. So it'll be it'll be a different team next year for sure.
And the experience there, and do you think some of the stuff you went through, especially with the the championship game you got there, you lost in the districts, or I think did you make it through sectionals, or did you get?
Last year,
I shouldn't say districts. I know you won your district.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
then there's the sectional, then there's the
yeah.
quarterfinals.
So
Trying to
yeah,
where'd you guys?
last last year we lost to Moberly in the sectionals. We lost 5-4, and that
Yeah,
was heartbreaking for sure. We all kind of went into that game kind of thinking that we were going to win, and everyone kind of thought we were going to win, like even outside of our team, and because like it was kind of obvious that we had a little bit more skill than them, but we kind of got complacent in the 6th and 7th innings. We were up 4-2, and they came back and put 3 runs on us. So
yeah. I like that Moberly team, and they got all their guys back except one.
hmm
And
yeah,
that area there, its district is going to be tough.
uh,
Sectionals, quarters, all those teams in there. Um, that's 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 a heck of a good area of baseball with you guys, Southern Boone, Moberly up there, Booneville, um,
hmm
Kirksville, I think,
Blair Oaks.
Blair Oaks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. State
yeah.
champions, right?
Oh yeah. I
And they
think
didn't
they're going to be
lose
pretty good
much.
this year for sure. No, yeah, they have pretty much everyone back, and they look good so far from what I've seen. So
When you look at the landscape of baseball, and I know it's a small, you guys are a smaller private school, but you're playing Class 4 baseball. Do you think that there are
mhm.
times when you look at the landscape of what you guys are playing and whatnot? Do you really, if you guys go play big school, Class 6 school,
Mhm.
don't matter who, do you believe you can compete at that level?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We went into every game knowing we can compete. There hasn't been a game in my 4 years where we haven't went into the game not thinking that we can compete, and that's a pretty good mindset that our team has. We're always pretty confident, and we're we're always going to be in it. And that's the same like when we play Hickman. They're a Class 6 school from Columbia and have 2,000 kids, and we're a small private school in Class 4 that has 350 kids, and we never go into that game ever thinking that we're going to lose. And we've been competitive with them every year. Last year we won. The year before I think we lost by 1. So it's always we're always neck and neck with those teams still.
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about you're headed over to SLU, St. Louis
Yeah.
University, right over here we're in St. Charles County. Um,
hmm
the recruiting process has changed a lot. Even when you were
Yeah.
there first went into high school, I think it started
hmm
changing and moving in a different
Yeah.
direction.
hmm
So how has that been? Has it been very difficult to navigate with all the changes?
it was definitely difficult, but I feel like it really wasn't as difficult just because I had the PBR future games and everything, and that really did help a lot with my exposure because we had that, and then right after, like 2 days after, was when coaches could start contacting us, and that day, like there was a number of schools, like 10 or 15, that called, and it kind of just made it a lot easier with the PBR future games. That's definitely the one thing that I would have to say.
Talk to us about that experience. I know Mr. Mulder's on our show quite a bit, and he talks about the future games. What was that experience like for you?
So I kind of went into it not knowing what it was going to be like. And when I got there in the first day, and there's 300 coaches, all from the biggest name schools you could ever know, or standing watching on your field, like it was, it was definitely a little bit like it was eye opening for sure. And like it was a little bit overwhelming at first, but after that, I kind of calmed down, and everything kind of went back to it was just baseball. And at the end of the day, that's really all it was. It was just the game, and they were just there to watch. So
How'd you shake off those nerves? What clicked for you after the initial shock?
Yeah. What really clicked was just when I stepped on the field. It kind of like when I step on the field, I kind of get into a flow state, and I kind of don't really think about much else. I'm just playing the game. And when I was nervous and overwhelmed was before I stepped on the field, and I could see all the coaches and everything. But once I got on the field, I wasn't really noticing them. I wasn't watching them. I wasn't paying attention. I was just, it was just me and the ball. So
I love that. That's some serious focus right there, bro.
yeah.
I like it. So you guys, as always, a tough schedule.
Hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about some of the guys that you feel could be impactful. Who are we missing? Who don't we know about?
Yeah. Really, the only person that we're missing this year is Cam Lee. He was a big part of the team. He played center field, and he was a huge part of the team. But we're really only losing him, and then after that, we Liam Newman's moving into his spot in center field. So, and Liam will take his spot perfectly fine, and I know he's going to be great there because he's played since freshman year as well. So he's got the time under his belt, and some other people that are like Miles Putnam. He's gonna he's gonna be good at catcher this year. He's put in a lot of work this offseason and gotten a lot better. Wyatt Crevero, he's gonna be really good on the mound. He's he's worked a lot at P3 in St. Louis, and some other guys are like Carter Ball and Alex Frost. They've played since sophomore year, so they've got time under their belts as well. So they've got the experience, and obviously Matthew States. He's going to be a big time role this year too. He hasn't really got to play much varsity because last year he got hurt. Sophomore year he was ineligible because he transferred from Rockbridge. So, but we should have a pretty good lineup for sure. Our really only thing is pitching. We need a couple of guys to step up and be able to pitch, but our lineup looks the best it's probably ever looked in 4 years. So
Very good. I got one last thing here for you. Going to SLU, was that your first choice?
that was my that wasn't my first call or my first offer or anything, but that was my first choice. Like right, kind of after I got the offer, it kind of just it became like the number one, and I was like this is really where I want to go because it's close to home. I felt really close with all the coaches, and I already have a guy that played at Tolton going there, so kind of already know the ropes there and everything. So it should be a pretty good fit, and it was the obvious choice for me.
Very good. I know. I love that thought process. It's close to home.
Hmm.
How much did your parents help through this process? And, I think that these are difficult decisions. Nobody knows the future, this, that. So how much did you rely on your parents in making this decision?
I definitely leaned on them a lot for it. I asked them a lot of questions. I was always trying to have talks with them. We had a talk with my parents and Danny. We sat down and had like an hour long conversation about the recruiting process and how it was going. And so I kind of leaned on them a lot in my baseball journey and path. So they helped a lot with figuring out where how far I wanted to be because I didn't really want to be more than like 3 4 hours away. But yeah, they've helped a lot for sure.
I don't blame you. It's nice when mom and dad can come watch you play ball, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's really I want my family and friends to be able to come watch and be able to be involved in my life still, and not just move away and not have those relationships still because I have a lot of relationships here that should stick and I value a lot. So
Very good. Do you go by Luke or Lucas?
Lucas,
You do go on. Very good. I called you Luke earlier in the show. My apologies, sir. I
no,
should
that's
ask
a
that
lot
to
of people
begin
do,
with.
but no, you're good. You're good.
Well, I will finish by saying I appreciate your time, Mr. Wietholder.
Yeah,
And
thank you. Thank you for having me on.
absolutely, I've enjoyed watching you play baseball and enjoyed, from afar, your growth as a baseball
Mhm.
player. It's been a lot of fun. Been
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
yeah, appreciate it.
Wish you nothing but success, young man.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. Hey, look, you know what? If you liked this segment, please hit the like button and share it out with your friends. Please. If you like what we do here at Youth Baseball Midwest, we appreciate that. And if you want to support us, hit the subscribe button. Hit the dinger next to it. You like hitting dingers, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go. See, who doesn't? This one is not a home run, though, Lucas. I'm sorry. This one only gets you notifications for upcoming episodes just like this. You know, it's still good, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So thanks a lot, folks. We appreciate it. And we appreciate Lucas coming on Prime Sports Midwest Call Link. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and hitters. You got advice for hitters?
Really, my only advice is just have confidence. Don't ever go in the box without confidence. You have to know that you're better than the pitcher and never try to swing too big.
That's sound advice right there, folks. We'll see y'all next time.